Class is in session. MLB hitting the book show Monday, May 19th. It's a holiday here. You wouldn't know it because I'm still doing the show, but that's the dedication we give to our viewers and listeners. Well, actually, I stayed home for the holiday weekend. That isn't always the case. So that's why you've got yourself an MLB hitting the book show here on this Monday. We've got a nice MLB slate tonight to talk about. We've got, I believe, 12 games on tap. So let's get right into it. We will begin with the Reds and the Pirates to get things rolling here. We've got Cincinnati minus 115 road favorites, 8 the total. We've got Nick Lodolo taking on Mitch Keller here in this matchup. You've got the Pirates who, say they haven't gotten a bump from the managerial change would be an understatement. It's kind of been a rough go for them. But I will say this: they faced the Mets and the Phillies the last two series, and they went 1-5 in those 6 games against the Mets and the Phillies. But pretty tough competition. Meanwhile, the Reds, they enter in off a 4-game win streak, sweeping Cleveland over the weekend. So nice performance by the Reds over the weekend. Nick Lodolo is on the mound here for the Reds. He's pitched pretty solid outside of one bad outing against Washington, and he's pitched pretty well in his past against the Pirates as well. Mitch Keller, meanwhile, he's pitched well enough in the last 2 starts for his team to win, but 3 runs in 6 innings against the Cardinals, 2 runs, 5 hits, 7 innings against the Mets, but no run support. 1 run for the Pirates in those 2 games combined. So I'd lean under here in this game. There's no way I'm taking Pittsburgh at this price. It would be Cincinnati or nothing. Don't love the scheduling spot here for Cincy, but Cincinnati definitely is the better team at the moment. 11 wins on the road. Pittsburgh still with just the 9 home wins this year. I'm not interested one bit in Pittsburgh. Be a lean to Cincinnati, but I don't think I love the Reds enough to bet them. The under is probably a good way to go here in this one, too, assuming that both pitchers can do all right, and I think that's a reasonable assumption here. All right, we've got Cubs and Marlins, Brown versus Cabrera. We've got the Cubs minus 170 road favorites. The total here sitting at, looks like 8.5 here, shaded to the over in this game. And the over is probably the way I would consider going in this one. Now, I will say this about Ben Brown. He's pitched better, and so has Cabrera. Full season numbers haven't been necessarily as good, but both of these guys have been pitching better lately. This Cubs lineup is just mashing the baseball, though. That is, you absolutely cannot deny that. And the Marlins did put up 14 runs in 2 of the games over the weekend against the Tampa Bay Rays. So at 8.5, I think I could get there with the over in this game. Nothing on the side for me. I mean, I don't want to take the Chicago at this price on the road, but there's not really much of a case that I want to make for Edward Cabrera and this Miami Marlins team playing a good team like Chicago. So the over is my preferred way to go in this one. All right, Mets and Red Sox. We've got Kodai Senga, who is clearly pitching like one of the best pitchers in the National League right now. He's definitely in Cy Young discussion if the season were to end today. Taking on Hunter Dobbins and the Boston Red Sox. We got the Mets minus 130 road favorites, and the total here sitting at pretty much 9 across the board in this one. Doesn't it look cheap for the Mets? I mean, it does, but Senga, you can't complain about anything he's doing. Senga's been absolutely outstanding for the New York Mets. I mean, 1.02 ERA. He's given up 2 runs. He's actually, it's funny, 2 runs. Only one of those 2 runs was earned for Kodai Senga in his last 3 starts. So he's given up 1 earned run in his last 15.2 innings versus Arizona twice and then the Pirates. So there's no question he's pitching very well for the Mets, but this is heads up against one of my favorite spots on a Monday night in Major League Baseball, and that's fading the team that played on Sunday Night Baseball and has to travel. And that's what you got here with the New York Mets coming off the 8-2 loss to the Yankees last night on Sunday Night Baseball. It's a spot I don't want to take a team, and especially lay a price on the road. So I know the Mets are the better team. I know that Senga's better than Dobbins. Dobbins got crushed in his last start by the Detroit Tigers. 5 runs, 9 hits, 5 innings. But it's Boston or pass for me. Teams have not done well. You go back and look at every Monday when there's a team that's been traveling after playing on Sunday night, and the results aren't good for those teams. They haven't been good this year. They weren't good last year. They weren't good 2 years ago. This has been a noticeable trend that teams have been able to take advantage of. And that's why I don't want any part of the Mets here. I know Senga's great, in great form. The Mets lineup's hitting. They're playing better baseball right now. But there's just no way I'm taking the Mets in this spot coming off Sunday Night Baseball with travel. Not easy to trust Boston or Dobbins, but I'd still prefer taking a shot with the home underdog here with Boston. And you can find them at anywhere in the plus 110 to plus 115 range. And the fact there's been some money coming in on Boston tells me I'm not alone in seeing that this spot's a little bit of a tricky one here for the New York Mets, this spot that's been tough for a lot of teams so far this year in Major League Baseball, playing Monday night on a with no day off with travel after playing Sunday Night Baseball the night before. All right, let's move on to Houston and Tampa Bay. We've got Gordon and Pepio on the mound here. Tampa Bay minus 140, home favorites, 9 the total in this game. Pepio's another one of these pitchers for the Rays that I expected a lot from. Boz, there's certain pitchers on this team. Bradley, where I was thinking, I think they got a chance to pitch pretty well this year, take another step in their development, becoming not premier pitchers necessarily, but just good, solid, steady, major league starting pitchers. And it's been a rocky road here for Pepio this year. 3.96 ERA, which isn't great. I thought he has pitched a little bit better, though, the last few starts. He had given up 2 runs or less in 3 straight versus San Diego, the Yankees, and the Phillies. Those are pretty good lineups. And even in his last start against the Blue Jays, where he gave up 3 runs on 6 hits and 6 innings, really it was one big blast that ended up hurting him in that game when it was, I believe it was a home run there for the Blue Jays in that game that ended up being the big one there on Ryan Pepio. Otherwise, he, pitched a pretty solid game there. Yeah, it was Kirk. Kirk had a big home run there. And other than that, I thought he held his own, Pepio, against the Blue Jays in that game. We'll see how this one plays out with the Rays and the Blue Jays here the Rays and the Astros here tonight. Gordon, meanwhile, 3 runs, 7 hits, 4.1 innings against a kind of a feeble Kansas City lineup. That's not really anything to write home about, in my opinion, here in this going into this game. You look at these two teams. What's funny is Houston, offensively, they've started to pick things up a little bit at least. They scored 10 runs in 2 of the last 3 games against Tampa. Meanwhile, Tampa, you've seen what they've done offensively. They've scored 16 runs over 3 games before getting shut down by, now kind of concerning, they got shut down by Cal Quantrill yesterday, but still the Rays have picked things up a little bit at the plate. I kind of lean Tampa here. I just didn't love the price necessarily, to back them. But I lean Tampa Bay. Maybe Tampa Bay team. I could see them doing a little bit of damage against Gordon here tonight. So Rays money line and or team total over. I think that's the way I would probably approach this game. Again, not strong opinions for me on this game, but certainly would lean in the direction of Rays money line, Rays team total here. I think Pepio can pitch okay because his Astros lineup sometimes can still be a little hit or miss. I think the Rays can do a little bit of damage here against Gordon, and the offensive numbers have picked up a little bit of late for the Rays as well. All right, we move on to Seattle taking on the Chicago White Sox. We've got Castillo and Martin, the pitching matchup. Seattle minus 190, pretty massive road favorites here in this game, and the total sitting at it looks like 8 pretty much across the board in this one. The Seattle Mariners are a team that was just on that crazy, and I mean crazy overrun. And I mean crazy. It was automatic. It got to the point where every friggin' day I was betting over the total in a Seattle game. But it's now finally cooled off. They've gone under now in 5 straight. So we've kind of jumped off the bandwagon a little bit when it comes to Seattle totals. Although it's really been because their pitching's been better. You look at the San Diego series, 3 unders. Well, they scored 15 runs in those 3 games, averaging 5 runs per game against the Padres, sweeping them over the weekend. But the pitching was good, and that's why those games still ended up staying under the total against the Padres. We'll see how they fare here. I've watched a lot of Luis Castillo. I'm of the belief he is not quite pitching at the level we've seen in the past. Now, I know he pitched a lot better against the Yankees, 1 run, 6 hits in his last start, but he was shelled by the Blue Jays right before that. We'll see how he fares here. I'm not comfortable laying with Seattle. I mean, the big sweep over San Diego, you're traveling now a pretty decent distance here. Davis Martin for the White Sox pitched well in his last start. 1 run, 6.2 innings. He gave up 7 hits, but he minimized the damage, most importantly, and was able to give the Chicago White Sox at least a chance there in that game. We'll see how he fares here in this one here tonight. You look at the White Sox, and the issues are still, 4 straight losses, can't hit 3 runs or less in 4 straight starts. See if that carries over here into this game tonight. I'd actually lean under here. As much as I have concerns about Castillo, put it this way, I want to fade Castillo. I just don't know if I want it to be tonight here against the sorry, we got to change the graphic. There we go. I just don't know if I want it to be tonight here against the White Sox. I don't know if I can trust the White Sox enough. I don't mind what Justin's thinking in the chat here with White Sox first 5. This is a tricky spot for Seattle. They're going from San Diego to Chicago. Martin pitched well enough. You don't want anything to do with the White Sox bullpen. It's that bad. Maybe Martin can pitch okay early in the game. White Sox can scratch out maybe enough runs against Castillo early, get you a lead after the first time, because you cannot touch the bullpen for the White Sox. It's not good at all. But the first 5 for the White Sox, I think there's arguments you can make to bet that here. Like I said, I've got cold feet with it, but I certainly get it. From a spot standpoint, the Mariners, coming off the San Diego series, I don't fully trust Castillo. There's numbers that point to regression for him. And look, Davis Martin pitched well in his last outing, and there's been times he's given this team a chance here. He's given up 3 runs or less in 3 of his last 4 starts. I know it's not showing up in the wins and losses, but he's given his team a chance, in some of these games. So I don't mind a look to the Whites, taking a flyer and a small look for first 5 here. C-Mac is back with us. C-Mac, anything you have to add here? Mariners and White Sox.
Yeah, it is the White Sox. First, you'd have to. The price, I think, should be a little bit better, but it's the ultimate flat spot for the Mariners. They're just coming off that sweep of San Diego. Can't hit anything, it seemed like, over those 3 games. But they just own this White Sox team. I couldn't do it, but I think I don't blame anyone for taking the first 5. But this, to me, yeah, under. I think Martin could be good enough. As long as Seattle doesn't score 8 runs themselves, I think this game stays under, because I think Castillo's good enough. Even a White Sox team total under, I don't know if they score a ton of runs.
All right, Cleveland and Minnesota next up. We've got Logan Allen and Bailey Ober, the pitching matchup here. Minnesota minus 145, home favorites. The total 7.5. Well, it had to happen. They're not going to go, 50 and or 100 and whatever and the rest of the season. You knew eventually this Minnesota Twins team had to lose a game. Finally, it happened yesterday in the finale at Milwaukee against the Brewers, 5-2, snapping just this absolutely phenomenal, 13-game win streak. Now, I'm always reluctant to bet on a team coming off a long win streak getting snapped like that. Sometimes when you have that long a win streak, 13 in a row, and you finally lose one, maybe you lose a few in a row. And is Bailey Ober the kind of pitcher I want to lay a price? I'll say this: the Twins are 5-0 in his last 5 starts, and he's got a 2.15 ERA during that span. So he is showing bet-on tendencies, no question about it. We'll see if that can continue here. Logan Allen, the lefty for the Guardians, who didn't have a great start to the year, but he's pitched a little bit better. He's coming off his best start of the year. Shut out the Brewers in 6 innings and only gave up 3 hits in that game. Minnesota, though, just not hitting Minnesota. Look at the numbers here of late. They are hitting lefties actually better lately, very well, in fact. 283 average, 4.8 runs per game. I definitely think matchup advantage, pitching advantage for Minnesota. It's Twins or pass. I lean Twins. I don't love the price. And more importantly, I just don't love backing a team after a long win streak gets snapped like that. Maybe there's a hangover. I am concerned about that. But I don't trust Allen at all in this matchup. Twins are mashing lefties. Twins are pass. Just don't love the spot nor the price. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to back Logan Allen after his basically best start of the year, because I don't trust this guy at all, even though we'll hit to the Brewers. I don't know if you got to yet. They haven't been hitting anything, lefties or righties.
I don't think you can be that impressed, actually, with Allen shutting them down.
A little bit. That's why I just wanted to bring it up. This game had some rain maybe in it, winds blowing in. That's why we have this total at 7.5. It's basically blowing straight in. Yeah, and Twins finally, the streak busted as they lose 5-2. So it was a pass for me. I'd like to be on the Guardians, but I just didn't love it.
All right, Baltimore Orioles, my favorite team to just piss on. I mean, I've literally just fade this team every day. I don't even look at the matchup anymore. I don't look at the matchup. I don't look at who they're playing. I just say, let's fade Baltimore again. And all it does is pay me every day. And it happened again this weekend with Washington. Washington just drubbed them. I guess that Brandon Hyde bump, him getting fired, did not come for the Baltimore Orioles. What a dreadful weekend they had in Washington. Dean Kramer on the mound here for the Orioles, and we've got Zastryzny, the lefty here, getting the spot start for the Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee -120, home favorites. Total here sitting at 8.5 across the board. I mean, you take Brewers or you pass. There's nothing even for me to add to that. There's just no friggin' way I can put a dime of this important money on the Baltimore Orioles right now. It's just that's how awful they are. They're not backable. There's no price. There's no matchup. There's no pitcher on the mound. There's no matchup. There's no price right now that can get me to the Baltimore Orioles side. Nothing. That is how awful they are right now. Swept by the Nats, outscored 24-13 in that series in the 3 games. Now I will say this about Kramer: he's pitched a little bit better 3 starts in a row here in May, where he's given up 6 runs in 19. It's actually pretty good for him. But they're still not winning with Kramer on the mound. They've got 1 win in his last 5 starts, even though he's pitched a little bit better. 1-4, the Orioles, in his last 5 starts. I'm not the biggest Quinn Priester. That's actually incorrect. It's Zastryzny.
It's Priester.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's actually Zastryzny.
Or is he just gonna? Is he just gonna go to a couple? Is Priester like the?
I think so. I think that's
primary here. Yeah.
It's probably Priester the primary, and Zastryzny getting the opener is probably what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But because I've got Zastryzny as the listed pitcher right now, I actually don't even care that it's Zastryzny or Priester. I just had to take Milwaukee again. That's the fade in Baltimore just keeps on cashing tickets for me, and until that changes, we're taking the other team. That's all there is to it. So I am on Milwaukee -120. The over does make sense because Orioles can't get any outs from their bullpen. Their bullpen is so bad right now. Baltimore, their pitching hasn't been any good. The only concern is this offense. Now, I will say this about the offense. The offense did show a little life against Washington, especially the last couple.
But they were down fucking 9-0.
Yeah,
those games I watched them. Yeah,
the scrub middle relievers for the Nationals, and that's what allowed them to come back into the game a little bit. That being said, I do lean to the over here in this game, over 8.5. That does make some sense, and I like Milwaukee. C-Mac, what do you think?
What happens? Like the O's for a while there, the games couldn't get over because they couldn't hit. The pitching's been bad. So if they were going to attack, score some runs, then yeah. But Brewers, I can't trust them.
I felt such satisfaction yesterday that line, Baltimore, Washington, the Sunday afternoon finale, it moved from like Baltimore -140 to like -180 by the time. And I took Washington +165. I faded the hell out of it. And Washington was up 7-0 or something at one point.
Oh, yeah. Saturday, I was at the book when I took him. I had Lowe's RBI. They were up 7-0. They even in and out. Yeah. What's his face? Who came in? Morton. Who was pitching?
Oh, on the Saturday game?
Yeah.
Gibson was just a train.
Gibson. Jeez, Gibson.
Gibson was pathetic.
He couldn't get an out there.
Yeah. CNL Perez, and then they had to use the relievers the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Old man Morton came in after, but Gibson was just awful. Oh, man.
Priester's problem, he could walk people, so that leads always to the 2 or 3 run homer. So maybe there will be some runs. And it's like if there's a guy they should hit here, it's good old Dean Kramer. It's just the offense has been for the Brewers. It has not been great. Like I wanted to look to some of these guys for RBIs. Like Yell is just ice cold. Contreras, everyone. I think Hoskins hit a home run. He does have a home run off Kramer too. But man, it's the lineup just hasn't been great. Maybe they can get going. Yeah, it's Brewers here. Total could go either way, but Brewers are passing. You talked about this. O's team's been straight fade.
Just has to be. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Just has to be that Brewers are pass at this price. And like I said, I took Washington in every game this weekend and was rewarded. So yeah, till the losing stops for Baltimore, we're riding the train still. All right, Detroit and St. Louis. We've got Gunther and Gray, the pitching matchup here. Sunny. All right, we've got St. Louis minus 160, home favorites, 8 the total here in this one. Tigers ended up having a tough last couple of games. They actually should have. Actually, they did win that series 2 out of 3. They lost the Saturday game, but they did bounce back, and they won 3-2 yesterday in the finale against Toronto. Sean Gunther is going to make the start here. Spot start, lefty, coming out of the bullpen here for the Tigers. He's actually got good numbers out of the pen this year, 2.25 ERA. We'll see how he fares here against the St. Louis Cardinals, who have not the greatest numbers against lefties of late. The Cardinals have been red hot. You know, they had that great win streak, 8-2 in their last 10. They did lose the finale to Kansas City, 2-1, and they've actually only scored 2 runs in the last 2 games combined. They got a gem from Miles Michaelis. Where the hell did that good pitching come from all of a sudden again from Miles Michaelis? But suddenly that guy is in a good form again. But nevertheless, St. Louis, 2 runs in the last 2 games. We'll see what they get here from Sonny Gray on the mound for the Cardinals, who got ripped in his last start by Philadelphia. 7 runs, 8 hits, 3.2 innings. And then you look at the Mets start here in St. Louis, was also not good. He shut out Pittsburgh, but that's not saying much. Pittsburgh's a horror show right now. I'm interested in Detroit anytime I see them at this price. And I'm very tempted to look in that direction here. Plus 140. I think I'm going to. First 5, full game, money line split. You're going to give me a team of this cat quality, plus 140. And Gray kind of showing some wobbles of late. Yeah, I'll take a shot here. Detroit plus money. C-Mac, what do you think?
I mean, I get it, yeah, because both these teams are playing very good baseball. Cardinals finally even winning on the road, or they've 14-2 their last 16. They've been a lot better at home. I don't trust Sonny Gray a ton, but I gotta think he pitches a lot better here after just getting shelled against Philadelphia in that game that had a ton of runs. So I think he's better. It seems just like a sleepy spot here for the Tigers. There might be rain in this game a little bit. And Montero, Tigers bullpen's been pretty good. They did use a lot of guys the last few days. It seems like maybe I just got to do their team total under. Seems like a good spot. Can I trust Gray enough? You know, Tigers, I know the last few days have gone under. That's what I'd look at. This, it opened 8.5, didn't stay too long. There's 8s. There's even a few 7.5s. Miller's behind the plate here, one of my favorite under umps. But I just got to keep it a lean. I just have been the under for me. And I still think there's value. As good as like this spot here is for the Cards. Everyone sees this price. I get people want to be on the Tigers,
All right, we got Phillies and Rockies next up. Christopher Sanchez and Kyle Freeland. The matchup here. Phillies minus 240, road favorites, 10 being the total in this game. Christopher Sanchez, man, 2 runs or less in 4 straight starts. He's been very steady, very solid. We'll see if he can keep that rolling here in this matchup against the Rockies. The Rockies, who in 2 of their last 3 games have been shut out. In 4 of their last 6 games have been held to 1 run or less. And it looks like that 14 runs they put up in that 1 win against Arizona was more of an anomaly than anything else. So we'll see how they fare against Sanchez, who's been in a very solid form. Kyle Freeland has not been in great form. And what's amazing about Freeland is in the past, he's actually put up some decent starts here in his home ballpark, Coors Field, but hasn't been the last 2 against Cincinnati and Detroit. Last 2 starts at Coors. How about 15 runs, 21 hits in 7.1 innings? Awful, awful, awful numbers for Freeland here in the last 2 starts at home. You know what I'm doing here, guys. Phillies team total over. And I get it. It's 5.5 with juice, 6.5 plus money at other spots. I get that it's high. I've now I've come around to say, you know what? Even with these high numbers, I'm still like, look at the Arizona series over the weekend. When you look at it, 12 runs, 8 runs. They gave up 8 runs to Texas. I mean, teams are getting to 7, 8. Yeah, way more often than not against this Rockies team. So, and with the numbers Freeland's got right now, I'm still okay with minus 145 with the 5.5, or if you want to take the 6.5 at plus money with the Phillies team total over, I'm okay with it. That's how bad the pitching is right now for this team. C-Mac, what do you think here? Phillies Rockies.
I know. He's got it. He's better fucking pitcher than he's been. I mean, holy shit. 0-6. He's got lit up.
Terrible.
And it's a little bit, he's had some good starts. Of course, talked about in the past. But the past against these Phillies, there's a few guys that hit him decent. Turner's seen him a ton. He's in 270. But I agree. How do they not get to runs? I agree. It's 6.5. It's plus money. Unless you want the 5.5, that would be whatever it is, minus 145. It seems like the Phillies are going to get to 7 at least in this game. Rockies finally won a game, a little competitive. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting to play a little bit better baseball, and they're going to be massive prices to jump on them. But it might take some longer time here to go.
All right, next up, we've got, as we continue along here, Royals and Giants. This feels like an underweight to happen here with Bubic and Ray. We've got San Francisco minus 135, home favorites. Look, Ray is a time bomb at times. I get it. He can have home run issues. He can have walk issues. At the end of the day, though, he's winning. Giants are winning with him on the mound. 5 straight start wins with Ray on the mound. And he's given up 3 runs or less in all 5 starts. And 4 of the 5 have gone under the total. And you don't have to convince me about Bubic. This guy's, lights out right now. He's given up 1 run in his last 18.1 innings against Baltimore. Now, Baltimore and White Sox is not great competition, but Houston shut him down in his last start. He's pitched well against San Francisco in the past. Giants suddenly, a little iffy as far as their offense is concerned over the weekend at times against the A's. Like they beat up Sears in the first game, but they only scored 4 in the last 2 games against the A's. So like I said at the beginning, feels like a stone cold under. So that's the only way I could go in this game. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm on it. I don't, maybe they would get runs tonight, but I have to trust these 2 pitchers. And the spot is for Ray as long as he doesn't walk it, because the Royals just can't drive in guys when there's men on base. They've been awful. Both these teams, too, bottom, third, against lefties. They've moved up a little bit. The Giants still, I think, are 22nd, 21st. And same thing with the Royals. They're right below them. After back-to-back unders and everything, the series history's under. I mean, under's crazy when you look at kind of the trends that I always glance at. Under 7.5. Bubic has been good. And look for the guys, though, the 2 guys. Chapman has good numbers. And always versus the lefty at 3 homers the other day. Walked in the winning run. Wilmer Flores. I always bring it up.
Good old Wilmer. Yeah. Wilmer!
Not runs, Wilmer. But those are the 2 guys if you want to take something that love lefties. So hit Bubic one.
All right, we got Angels and A's next up in Sacktown. We've got Yoel Soriano for the Angels, and we've got our guy, it is Ginn, JT Ginn here for the A's. Ginn and the A's, 140 home favorites, 9.5 the total here in this game. A's didn't hit at all over the weekend, getting swept by the Giants. They got 3 runs in those 3 games combined. But now they are back at home where, the offense is a little bit better. We'll see what they get out of Mr. Ginn here, who has actually pitched okay, 3 runs or less in 5 straight starts. The A's are 3-2 in those 5 starts. Soriano on the road has had some issues. Let's put it that way. Although he did pitch better against the Padres, surprisingly, 7 innings in his last start, which was on the road. And he's pitched okay at home, but there's been some tough road starts in the past, and they haven't been winning with Soriano. 0-5 entering this matchup. I get why the A's are. I took the A's at a better price than this earlier, minus 130. It's gone up to minus 140, but I did a money line split first 5 full game on the A's. The A's team total, I think, might get there over the total. I lean to the 9.5 over too, but Ginn might pitch well here in this game against the Angels. So I like more the A's than the over. I lean to the over. I like the A's looks a little bit more, though. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, the 10 I don't like as much, which is drop. I think the 9.5's all right. Again, you talked about he's pitched well. He's kind of the guy that's not try to get to 5. He's a lot of pitches. Yeah, those starts though have been solid. Like if he can keep it to 2 walks. The Angels scoring all these runs? Can it continue kind of in this ballpark? Like I think they can scratch some cross, and I think the A's, their team total is a good look, and that they can get this over. I mean, how about sweeping the Dodgers? Runs. Nito is red hot. Ward's hit home run in 3 or 4 days. That's all he's doing. He doesn't have anything else. But 3 jacks in 4 days, and I like O'Hoppe. Yeah, this is a good spot for him. I think he had the day off yesterday. First game, I love him today. His RBI is basically plus 200. The Jacks plus 525. So look for our guy Logan O'Hoppe tonight.
Hoppy beers are good. Hoppy Jacks are good too. Yeah, there you go.
I like it tonight.
No doubt. All right, speaking of those LA Dodgers licking their wounds after getting swept at home by the LA Angels in the Battle of LA, they'll look to rebound here tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We got Brandon Pfaadt and Landon Knack, the pitching matchup. Dodgers minus 145, home favorites, 10 the total. Knack's got the knack for getting ripped here as of late. It's not been pretty. It's not been pretty for Knack. 60 ERA going into this start. I don't think I'd fully trust him here either. The one thing we'll say about the Diamondbacks is this is a pretty damn good lineup, and right now their form is pretty solid. Yesterday they got shut down a bit, but before that, 12 runs, 8 runs, 8 runs, 6 runs. They've been really hitting the ball pretty well. I don't know if Knack's going to be able to keep them under wraps here. He got crushed by the A's in his last start. Meanwhile, you've got Brandon Pfaadt, and Brandon Pfaadt's been amazing at home. The starts in Arizona, he's been phenomenal. He shut down the Dodgers at Chase Field just 11 days ago. He shut down Atlanta at home. He shut down Tampa Bay at home. But look at these road starts. It's, again, with so many of these Arizona pitchers, not the same pitcher away from home. He gave up 7 runs in 4.2 innings in Philadelphia, and Pfaadt gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, just 4 innings against San Francisco in his last start. So he has not pitched well on the road. Put it all together, you understand why this total is 10, and I think it can still get up and over the total. So over for me here. I'm tempted to take Arizona, though, too. Plus money, first 5 full game. I actually thought the Angels had some value with some of these issues the Dodgers are going through right now. Still got starting pitching issues. Bullpen all of a sudden has shown some cracks for the Dodgers. So I don't mind if taking a shot here at the plus price with Zona here in this game either. I'm not laying anything with this Dodgers team, not after the monstrosity that I saw this weekend. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we'll be focused here, but, you got Knack on the mound. You're going to have to score some runs, and they're just going to do it. Yeah, bullpen just a little bit shaky, and it's tough starting pitching, all these injuries. So I think they'll be fine. But he's awful on the road. He was better last year. 2023 at the start at Dodger Stadium. He got hit both starts, but he gave up 6-5 earned there. And then last year in LA, I think he just gave up 3. He talked about he pitched well at home, but I've been wanting to fade him just on the road since he's come up to the big leagues. I talk about it. So 4 in San Francisco, that was last week. I was on the Giants there. I think there was a lot of runs in that game. Giants ended up winning. But at Philly, he gave up 6. A decent start at Miami where he gave up 1, and his first start of the year where he gave up 6 hits and 4 earned against the Nats. And the numbers here, Dodgers have seen him a ton. Seems like they're going to get 3 off him at least, 3 or 4. So I don't blame him over here. And some of these numbers are great. I like Freddie Freeman. There's also, it looks like Teos Hernandez might be back tonight. It might be tomorrow, but they need him in the lineup here. Edman just got back, so it'll make things a lot better on these guys to have him back in the lineup.
There you go.
But I agree with you. D-backs, the value. I mean, that means runs, I think, because I don't know what we get from our guy, Nick Knack.
I think I like the over a little bit more than I like Arizona, but I still think Arizona's worth a bet. That's kind of.
I think it's where even with that. I mean, first 5 at least. Just how the price is a little bit. Even though it's kind of a focus spot for the Dodgers. Yeah. This is starting pitching. I don't know if it's going to be. We'll see what Knack can do.
Yeah, no doubt.
And Arizona off the 1-0 game after the crazy game. Yeah. Man, Marte had a leadoff bomb. It was in the first inning. I saw it. It didn't score any in the rest of that game. It was just
to get the bats going again, because I think that was kind of an anomaly after just the 1 run. So it's a good spot for them to kind of
I
come
think
back to life. Yeah.
what I'd look at a little bit, I've already looked in this game. I talked about Freddie Freeman, but on the other side, Gurriel, I mean, haven't been my guy, Josh Naylor, has come through. I think that could be because it's getting tough with Carroll and Marte. They've been swinging such hot bats. Some of the prices have been tough. They just keep dropping because they've been red hot.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I see on Twitter, Connor Max posted a play for tonight on his Twitter account. Make sure you follow him. This is not one of the games we talked about with him because he joined after it, but he likes Reds and Pirates under the total, 8.5 there in that game with Ladol, and I kind of lean that way as well. So I'm with you there.
I think that game, the offense just haven't been there. I think both these pitchers could be decent, and there's just been a bunch of unders lately between these teams. Like if one team puts 8 runs, I'll do it. And I got an 8.5. There was 8.5. So I thought the 8 was decent and a decent juice. So I had to take it with those 2 pitchers on the mound. I still don't think we've done runs. And I think the Reds, going through everything, have gone how many games straight? 7 straight unders, I believe.
Yep.
7 straight. I mean, 7 or 9. When they played Pittsburgh, a bunch of them have gone under the last 10. I think 3 of 5. But Pittsburgh's gone under in 9 of the last 11, too. So,
Jack of the day for me as we transition. I'll throw one out there from the Diamondbacks-Dodgers game you mentioned as far as Brandon Pfaadt is concerned. A couple of Ketel Marte's decent. You mentioned Gurriel. I'll give you Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers. He's homered twice against Pfaadt in the past. So there's a couple of good options, I think, for that late game, as far as, home run props are concerned there. What else have we got here? I'm just taking a look at some of the other options here. Let me just see here. There we go. Oh, here we go. Houston and Tampa. Walker for Houston. He's homered off Pepio.
I had him the other day.
Yeah,
he hit that homer.
Even though I like Tampa there, he's had it's done some success against Pepio. So that could be something to look at there in that game. So there's a couple Jack of the Day candidates. CMAC Jack of the Day. Anything you like there?
Yeah, I already hit Freeman. I still think there's value at 4-1, a little over that. Kyle Tucker, I'm taking. I think Stowers. I've had him. Not the last couple, but when he kind of went on that tear, I think there's Brown struggled against lefties this year a little bit, 305 average. So I think he could sneak that because his RBI plus 215. I mean, the prices have been huge for him. So look for him. And that's it. Yeah, Tucker plus 500 for his. Also, I'll look late in that Dodger game because already on Freeman we talked about. I might get on one of the D-backs there. Now, Gurriel, Naylor. I got to look at the prices.
All right, there you have it. All right, best bets now to wrap it up for this Monday edition of the show. CMAC, best bet. What do you got?
Yeah, I gave it out. Reds, Pirates, under 8.5. I'll throw one more because I bet this. Angels, A's, bonus one here. 9.5. I don't really like it at 10. There's still 9.5s out there. Angels, A's, over 9.5. I just think there's going to be runs there.
And remember, we're in that little bandbox again there, Sacramento, where there's been the ball.
Yeah, good weather.
And it's only going to get warmer now as we go into June coming up in just a couple of weeks. So there you go. 1 under, 1 over for best bet for CMAC. My best bet, I'm going to the other game late night that I like the over in, and that's Arizona and the LA Dodgers. Unfortunately, at 10, I got 9.5. It's gone up since I took it, but at 10, I still like it. Actually, you know what? There's 9.5 minus 125. And a couple Vegas and offshore books right now. Minus 125, 9.5. So we'll use that one.
Yeah, there's a couple 9.5s. Yeah.
Shop around. Find those. There's only a couple 9.5s out there, but find it if you can. Diamondbacks, Dodgers, over 9.5 for my best bet for this Monday. All right, there you have it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. I'm looking forward to another week of shows. We're back tomorrow on Tuesday. Once again for the Tuesday card. Looking forward to it. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and let them know that we're here all baseball season long, spring and summer, breaking it down. There you have it. For CMAC, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll be back tomorrow on Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, with another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.